7-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Plummer will put it up, throws over the middle. Pull, touchdown. Red flag.
3rd down and 5. Levis swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Another. Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Chuck this team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. Today. This one the other way. It's still going back. Got the drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it.
Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for Darby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
Scored by number 20, Cameron.
What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Yes, it is Friday, however you want to call it. I'm okay with it, as you know, but it is, obviously, well, not that we're not casual on the show, but I mean, a little more casual Friday. Obviously, Tillman, pass run, always honoring Pat Tillman every day. And I love, by the way, real quick, I love when I get conversations like wherever I'm at, like when somebody sees, like, oh, Pat Tillman, man, I can't believe how long it's been, or they share something about Pat Tillman again, just absolutely, like, again, love it. People have the memories. It's there. It's a bond. Obviously, a bummer it happened, but nonetheless, love it. So yes, got the Pats run going on, as you guys know. So yes, it is Friday, Victory Friday here on Pitchfork Lunch, and I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. You know it, you love it. Don't be bashful. You check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, you can check out my wonderful IG at michael.caratenuto.5. And yes, Pitchfork Lunchers, the YouTube channel. You're going to want to subscribe to it. Watch live, but if you miss anything, like, I don't know, any of the phenomenal con reviews that we've had, you will, you can, you can go back and binge watch and get all caught up with the phenomenalness that is Pitchfork Lunch and going in and around Sun Devil Nation, bringing the people to you, whether it be coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, a phenomenal athletic director who did something really cool, and I ran into him last night at the wonderful victory soccer match over BYU, 2-1 Devils. Forks up, love it. You guys know that. But had a great conversation with Graham Rossini, and we're gonna get him on. We're gonna get him on. It probably will be not next week, but the week after, just because he's a busy man, as you guys know. But he said, let's get it done, and we will do that. So, because next week TCU is here, and that's a Friday game, guys. 1 week from today, the Devils will be playing again. So, yes, it will be very. It will be a very a busy week, obviously, and fast football-wise, but, nonetheless, it's all good. So, yeah, but go to YouTube. You see my name, Michael Caratenuto. The page is at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, guys. And subscribe, because, like I said, you can get caught up. You can binge watch season 1, binge watch season 2, and keep watching season 3. Don't just stop because you haven't seen it. But things will, start to piece together a lot more. So, yes, things will start to piece together a lot more, and you'll be able to, when we have different guests on, obviously Coach Winkworth coming back again, he gets to talk about this different team that he told me that he would have. Although we still got to give him a little razzing, right? Pitchfork Lunchers, because the recruiting trips overseas, he was going to take me. Probably took his family. So, I mean, I volunteered to carry luggage and help out. So we'll see where that went. But no, in all seriousness, nonetheless, you will join us in about 15 minutes at 12:30. So you can, again, enjoy your lunch. But Coach Winkworth will be here talking about his unbeaten team. They are now 8-0-1. And, again, just absolutely awesome. 8-0-1. I mean, the one draw against Texas, and that was 1-1, and they got another first half goal. But yeah, they beat BYU 2-1. They get a big first half goal. So Coach Winkworth will be joining us. He'll be joining us about 15 minutes. So again, Victory Friday, day off. He'll be joining us. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Well, volleyball, obviously the Sun Devil Classic going on. They will be taking on Pepperdine tonight. You guys know that. They also have Grand Canyon tomorrow, early evening, and then Sunday they have Milwaukee in the afternoon. So, so that in and of itself, awesome all weekend if you're here. If you're going to Baylor, obviously to Texas for the football game, hey, rock it, man. Rock Waco. There's always some Sun Devil tailgates going on. A lot of Sun Devil fans. You can see it. So, absolutely awesome. So, they're at Baylor. Volleyball here. Soccer gets a win. They have their next Big 12 matchup at home next week versus Oklahoma State. Will be in town. That is at 7 p.m. next Thursday, same time as it was yesterday. But so again, a lot going on. Awesome. It's a Victory Friday. Couldn't be more stoked. Couldn't be more stoked about that. And I mean, it's again absolutely awesome. So again, don't be bashful. All. Couldn't be more stoked about it. So yes, Coach joined us at 12:30. Stoked about the weekend. Like I said, obviously big for the Devils. You control Texas State. Want to get off to the fast start in the Big 12. Again, Iowa State obviously has already won a Big 12 game as they beat Kansas State in Ireland. Yesterday, by the way, real quick, after the show, again, it broke. Lots of things from me seeing that it broke and sending some messages and digging around. Lots of things need to be things are still being talked about. It's looking good, but a lot of you did see that the ASU and Kansas are looking to play in London at Wembley Stadium. But it's early, not saying it won't happen, but it's not a done thing. So there's it broke yesterday. A ton of you saw it. I got a few messages. I'm just addressing it now. Because it's one of those things. But ASU, Kansas in Wembley Stadium in London next year. That would be absolutely phenomenal. And Pitchfork Lunch will hit the road for that one as we'll be hitting the road later this year. Obviously, headed to Utah, headed to Boulder, possibly Iowa State. We shall see. But it could happen. It's in discussions. It's not like anybody else is trying to jump in. So, I mean, the fact that it broke, but it's not a done deal. Just so everybody knows. Just so everybody knows. But I mean, it'll be like I said, absolutely insane if when that goes final. But again, there's still a little more talking to do. We're in this season. We're looking for that Baylor, Waco up next. TCU will be here next Friday. So, yes, it is a nice Texas swing and a lot of, Texas to Tempe. We got it. And the man that, I'm not saying it wasn't around before, but CJ Fight Stad, Mr. Fight, kind sir. Again, we got to put this up, guys. We got to start putting it up, man. Tank to Tempe, baby. Tank to Tempe. That's CJ's dog, man. He only gets to see him when he goes home. Everybody else gets to visit him. So, but we got to get Tank to Tempe, man, and on Pitchfork Lunch too, Mr. Fight. So I mean, I'm just saying. But no, I mean, but obviously Baylor this week is going to be huge. Defense, like I said, big quarterback, huge. Have a prediction at the end of the show. I'll let you know when we get to it. But yeah, we're going to talk to Coach Winkworth for a little bit. We're going to talk some volleyball. We'll wrap up last night's game with him. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely awesome, and the energy, and then the Sun Devil Classic, my friends, with volleyball, as you know, that gets going 2 nights. Well, and women, they're actually women's golf is actually playing. Yeah, so it's again just absolutely women's golf getting going too. They have a tournament this weekend in the fall. They play in the fall. Finished 10th in their first one. I can see Missy Farkay, just a little, when I was talking to her at soccer against UTEP. Again, it's great running. Saw Coach Van Neal last night. Speaking of volleyball, Coach Van Neal out, obviously supporting Coach Winkworth and Sun Devil Soccer, talking to some players. Thinking, I don't know, maybe because of their footwork, maybe he's trying to get someone to come over to volleyball. No, I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. But no, got to catch up with Coach Van Neal for a little bit. So obviously see him this weekend with, again, the Sun Devil Classic going on. And yeah, Pepperdine tonight, 6 p.m. DFA kids, get on out there is all I can say. Get on out, DFA. Yeah, get on out, DFA. It's at 6. Get out there early. Again, we're having big crowds. Absolutely awesome. Again, let's keep it going. Grand Canyon tomorrow at 5, and then Sunday, Milwaukee, as you Wayne's World fans might recognize that, Milwaukee at 1 p.m. So all on ESPN Plus. You can check it out there too as well. But again, don't miss out as this team, Sun Devil Volleyball, 6-2. Yeah, man, you roll through this 9-2, and then you start Big 12 play, right? Just like that at Kansas. So yes, again, just a lot going on. So yeah, again, it's going to be awesome. Sun Devil Classic this weekend, and a team looking to, again, get 3 more wins. Going to be tough, but So yes, that, my friends, it'd be awesome. So hey, we're gonna take a quick break. But when we get back, again, we're going to be talking with Coach Winkworth. You're going to want to get in on this. Just saying, you probably want to get in on this. So, yes, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, though, yes, the head man in charge of Sun Devil Women's Soccer, Graham Winkworth, will be joining us here on Pitchfork Lunch. And, we will talk about this team, the formation of this team, and the phenomenal, like I said, the phenomenal start that they are off to. Their 8-0-1 start. So still haven't lost yet. But we'll step aside, and more Pitchfork Lunch coming up. All right, we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratinito, as you know, at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Always shout out to Prince there. And don't forget, check out Show Live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, the YouTube channel. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Watch live, but do subscribe because, you know, you'd miss out on phenomenal cover reviews we have, which we've had this phenomenal coach on twice so far. He's been on every year we've had the show. Although, and it is a Victory Friday, so it's great to have him on. And I'm going to bring him in on that. The women's soccer head coach, a man who just got his 250th career win. I talked about it here on Pitchfork Lunch. Graham Winkworth joining us. Coach, man, thanks so much for taking the time. You know I always appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I mean, look, I want to start with, obviously, last night. I wake up this morning, it's a Victory Friday, and I'm just looking online and I see the Big 12 soccer standings. And I know it's one game and there's three other teams that are 1-0, but the Sun Devils are up top, man. That's That's always a great feeling. That's where you guys belong, right, Coach?
Absolutely, that's the plan. But yeah, we've got 10 more games, so one at a time.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I mean, BYU, and I know I'd asked you last night, and I was talking a little bit about it before I went to break, is just how last year and even leading up to this game yesterday, I was saying they went to BYU, a good team, and I go, it was back at it was a tough game, but they just fell short, and it is one game at a time, and I know it's short-term memory, but it just sometimes it kind of sets things in motion. But man, last night's game, I mean, from the jump, you came out right after them. What did you see maybe different from your team in approach, or just kind of now you're in the Big 12 play? What did you see from them last night, Coach?
I was delighted. It was probably the strongest performance of the season. That and the first half away to Texas. Last year, BYU were the better team. They deserved the victory. They're well coached. They've got a great team, and they deserve to beat us 1-0 last year. Last night, 2-1. Delighted with the result. Delighted to win the game, but it honestly could have been more. I thought we were in complete control of the game, both when we had possession. We looked very, very dangerous. But even when we didn't have possession, which was about 2/3 of the game, we controlled it. We weren't really giving up major chances and never really felt too much threat. And I think as well as the girls played, 2-1 flattered the opposition last night.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, it's funny because you bring that up, and the last few games I've been out there. The crossbar in the post is supposed to be your extra defender for against the other team, not for you guys. And man, your players have pierced the crossbar quite a few times. But I mean, talk about that too, because it's crazy to me for people that haven't been out there. And my pitch, a lot of fans of the show have been out there, but I want to keep getting more out. But the setup of this team and just how again, the transfer portal obviously huge. Obviously brought in some talented freshmen, but how has this team just come together in non-conference play, and just how have you just seen the growth and the leadership from the players on the team?
Yeah, I like the fact that I want to give a lot of credit to my staff, because this is like we've got 12 players back of our roster of 26. 12 of them were on the team this time last year. The other 14 are new, which means we've got to try and gel a team of random players from all over this country and the rest of the world together in in women's soccer, we don't get much of a preseason. So to gel them together so quickly and have them playing as in the style that they played last night within a month is really great credit to my assistant coaches and to the girls. Really, really delighted. And the portal's become a major piece. I mean, 7 of the 11 that started the game last night came through the portal. Some of them, though, are local, like, the likes of Tatum. She's a local talent and come home. And I'd encourage all the top players that are in Phoenix to come home and play here, because it's a wonderful experience to play in front of close to 2,500 fans in your hometown. And then, and then the freshman of the week, again, a hometown girl from Basha High School, Addie Baltadano, and I'll be shocked if she doesn't win freshman of the week again this week, because she certainly deserves it after her performance. And then we've got players from all over the world, whether they've transferred in or freshmen, and again, they're just good people. So it makes it very easy to have them become a team very quickly when you're dealing with wonderful personalities every day. I think you're muted.
I don't know why I did that automatically. They just want to hear you speak anyway, Coach. No, but it's awesome. And you mentioned that because isn't it now, didn't Grace Gillard and Lucy, didn't they both play on the same the Arsenal program?
Yeah. So Grace, she was the captain of the Arsenal under-23 academy. She was also the captain of England under 18s. And then she went to Syracuse. So she's a transfer. She went to Syracuse and became their captain very quickly before becoming our captain. So she's a quality leader. Faz, who's Lucy, she's a year younger. She also played with Gilly over at Arsenal. And then she went to East Carolina and has just transferred in this semester. And and is what I love about Faz is she understands her strengths and weaknesses really well. But one of her strengths, one of her superpowers, is that she just fights. She's got a winning mentality, and that can really push players to another level when you've just got that sort of competitive nature, and she certainly brings that.
Yeah, no, she absolutely has, and it's just that, and I've told you throughout the years. I mean, having played midfield, and I like watching, you guys work the ball up, and that's always been a very obviously huge point of your coaching is that I mean, obviously the midfields, the better they are, and whether it's keeping advancing the ball, making sure it's getting outside or down the middle. But man, the way they've played through non-conference, and each game it just seems like whatever the challenge is, that the other team just can't get into a rhythm. For, like I said, for a few of my Pitchfork Lunch fans who haven't been out there, talk to me about this midfield. And I mean, like I said, it's just they play at such a beautiful, spacing, pace, everything that you see every day. But man, they've just been lights out so far this year.
Yeah, it's we're playing a little unorthodox to what most teams play. I mean, when we line up, it looks like most teams would call it a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. And the midfield trio within that is the starting right now is Tatum, who's a transfer from Washington and a senior, so lots of experience. Peyton, who's a transfer from UCLA, again with lots of experience. And then Ella Kettles, who is just the biggest energizer bunny on the pitch. She was crying last night with joy, and that's such a cool thing to see as a coach. And but no, she was a mess. It was funny, and but she's a mess on the field. She's all over the place, but she is literally all over the field. Covers every inch, every single game. I tell her that she's like Superwoman sometimes in running around the field, and that when she's wearing a bib, we just should make it a cape because she's absolutely everywhere. The other piece to that is that when we often build, even though it looks like a midfield trio, Izzy Monk is an important piece to this, because even though she's a defender, the way we play, she looks like a midfield player in possession. And so we actually outnumber most opponents in the midfield, which is why we're brave enough to use the midfield players and play 4 against 3. It's like a big rondo in the middle of the pitch. And when you've got technically good players like that, it means that the game is aesthetically pleasing for the fans. But we can also advance the ball into more dangerous areas because the girls are so good. You're muted again.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. That's so funny. No, I was saying absolutely well said, because having played center mid, like I always subscribe to the theory of, work harder, not smarter, or work smarter, not harder, because, going through the midfield, being able to move the ball. And I say that because and I know I've asked you about this, but it's just so beautiful to watch, especially when, you're working it, taking your time, working back, but the speed on the wings. I mean, first of all, what is it with, Cam this year? Because you talk about the first half goals, and I know as a coach, of course you want them, but I think she scored in like 41 seconds in Texas or something crazy like that. And then last night had an early goal. Against I think UTEP as well too. It's one of those things where, what you with her on the wing and the wings that you have in the midfield, man, like you said, it is one game at a time. But if I'm coaching, man, it's hard for me not to get too crazy excited, because, like I said, those wings outside is playing beautifully.
I think what helps Cam is that we've got threats this year on both sides of the pitch. And before, teams would try and close her down because we didn't have the threat on the left side. And now we've got 4, in my opinion, 4 players that are really talented playing the wing, 3 freshmen and Cam. And so Cam brings the experience, but she also brings her quality as well in the ball, and is both, when you've got wingers crossing to wingers, like two games ago, the fourth goal where Cam crossed to Adi Baltadano for the finish was a beautiful team goal. It started with Pauli, finished in the back of the net with a winger crossing to a winger. Well, last night, the first goal was, again, a beautiful goal where Adi Baltadano crossed it, and then Cam finished it. Both that goal, both goals last night, Sierra played a crucial role in as well. I was talking to her after the game, and I'm like, so many forwards are judged on how many goals they score. She brings so much defensively to the team in how she works on out of possession, but then dropping in, picking up the ball in the space between their midfield and their back line, pulling players out of position from the opposition, and then finding the spaces. Credit to my assistant last night for spotting something in the first half where we could have had another goal scoring opportunity. We showed the team, and then within 5 minutes of the second half, we've scored that goal, and it was beautiful from Sierra as well to help create that.
Yeah, I mean, it's when it builds up like that, and again, people are like, well, when it happens like that, and you see it, it's just it is literally like art on the pitch, which is beautiful. When you look at and okay, you mentioned Paulie, and I know she always wants, obviously, the clean sheets and the way she plays. And I've played your sound on the show. You've talked about it. Like there aren't many goalies in the country that if any, that can do what you do. Maybe stopping wise, but like you say, the footwork, and for a goalie too, I've always got handling the ball. Like, yes, getting it started, but having comfort handling the ball, even though yes, it is soccer, but with your feet, man. What is her energy and just what she's able to do and back just bring to your team? And I mean, I know to overstate the obvious, it helps the defense out, but it's got to give the defense even more confidence too, right?
Yeah, we were just talking about her earlier. Like, I think within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, she scooped the ball over one of their forwards. And I'm like, as a coach, you're like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I'm like, these fans are entertained by that. We want to put bums in seats, and Pauli entertains. She's, my wife is like, why is she taking kicks from the halfway line? And I'm like, because she can. And because it enables us to put Grace and Faz in the box, and Pauli can deliver a beautiful ball. And we actually were practicing the way we thought BYU would set up for those defensive free kicks was quite deep. And so we're like, okay, if they're going to do that, then let's put some people in the box. And in practice yesterday morning before the game, we practiced that very thing, and Pauli scored. And I'm like, all right, Pauli, you going to score a goal tonight? And obviously she didn't score, but it would have been quite fun and entertaining to have seen it. But no, she's so comfortable, she's so confident, and when your goalkeeper oozes that sort of confidence, it can only be positive for the people just in front of her.
Yeah, because obviously only 4 goals, and none in only one obviously in open play, and
none. All 4 of them are from set pieces. Because I thought the goal last week was in open play, but it was a horrifically defended throw-in. And
okay, all right, yeah, because
so
that's
I was mad about it.
All right, so I mean, yeah, it's and when you talk about you mentioned obviously the transfer and the transfer portal, and obviously in any sport this day and age, players being comfortable. In soccer's obviously it came about understanding where somebody needs to be, how you want them to play the game, but also just that chemistry with the other person. You mentioned Tatum, obviously a local kid, and I mean from Liberty High School, has done great things. Came back down, like you said, from UW. I gotta say, I mean, and I loved your statement, but I cut that little. I played your sound on the show, but I cut out your little thing, and it reminded Cam that like you are a great man. You do like obviously tough man's work, because you made her see the light coming from that school down south to come here and actually really play and enjoy college like the rest of us did at ASU. But
right.
But the way Cam and Tatum play together, I mean, like again, you can't force chemistry, and the way they've played off each other. I mean, obviously, yeah, you're a whisperer in that, coach. But I mean, what have you just seen from them to just get on the same page so quick and make it look like they have been playing together for 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's like 4 or 5 weeks instead of 4 or 5 years. But and it didn't look like this 4 or 5 weeks ago. We played really well last night. There's a value in soccer that is called expected goals. So like every shot is given a value of the percentage chance it has of going in based upon where the shot's taken. Well, we should have won 3.3 to 0.96 yesterday. So it was a very dominant performance. And if teams try to shut down Cam, that's great. Good luck with trying to do that, or shut down Addy. That's great. Good luck with trying to do that. But then you're just going to open up Tatum. And so 1 minute it could be Tatum, the next minute driving through the middle, the next minute it could be Cam. But I like the fact that we have the ability to attack in different ways. We didn't have that last year. Everything was the same. And I just feel like we look solid defensively, but offensively we can beat teams in different ways. We can beat teams with set pieces. We've scored 6 goals from corner kicks. We can beat teams through the center with players like Tatum being creative. And then we can beat teams out wide with the likes of Cam and Addy and the others doing a great job in those wide areas. So, yeah, it's exciting when if a team has only got one dimension, then they're easier to stop.
Absolutely. And, I look at it too, and I'm waiting for Faz because on a lot of those corners that you've won, and, like I said, I haven't played center mid. I'm playing for my uncle, more like a defensive, even though, yes, I did advance. But if, like I told you a million times before, if I didn't get back for him being Italian, like I was sitting next to him on the bench. So, pick and choose your battles. But I mean, I'm waiting for Faz to get that header off the corner. She's been close so many times.
Well, she got one last week, and in her defense, Wrighty's been credited with a goal, and somebody else was credited with a goal. Now, on our website, she's been credited with 1 goal. If you actually go to the more analytic data that's done by professional firms, Faz actually got 3 goals this season. But Faz is the type of person that just doesn't. She loves to score a goal, etc., and it does mean a lot to her. But ultimately, she cares about if the team's won. She's a team first type person, and if that's a centre forward, they're like, why am I not getting the credit, etc. But Faz just wants to win the game and keep clean sheets, and she's doing a wonderful job. But she's contributing at the other end, and if she's not scoring them, she's assisting them by being a huge threat on those for sure.
No, absolutely, and you did the of course you're. I mean, look, over 250 victories now. You're a smooth coach. You made us, even made me believe, because I was talking about it, that we probably wouldn't see Kiara for another few weeks. And then look at that. She's in the game last night. And yeah, the cobwebs. And like you said, getting into practicing obviously is a lot different than getting into game speed and game shape. But when she was out there, had a few good touches, looked pretty good. So just what were your thoughts though from her coming back, obviously off the injury, and just getting back at least out on the pitch last night, moving around a little bit with the team?
Yeah, that's just wonderful to see her out there, to be honest, and come through it healthy and get some minutes in the legs and just a little bit more match fitness. I really can't gauge how fit she is right now, so we're gonna have to look at that over the coming days to see what we can really she's allowed to do. I was limited to a certain period of 15 minutes a half yesterday, and that was fine, and she did a great job. It wasn't a game for the 9 to be as threat in front of goal as it would have been maybe playing as a false 9, and so she and Sierra did good jobs in their creativeness and their defending, but it wasn't going to be the game for the goal maybe, but just seeing her out there and getting to enjoy soccer again, and so that we can now focus on getting her fit for us and then getting her fit back for Canada, because it's a big World Cup year.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say that last night was World Cup night too, which is awesome. And with that coming, because obviously with the World Cup coming up, and I mean, you look at your team, and I know obviously the national team, but I see some players, and I'm just like, I wonder how, if they could fit on that. But when you're coaching during a world, as you're getting closer to the World Cup, how much more exciting is that for the players just in general, knowing that the greatest event, the only sport, coach, as you know, which you can call yourself a true world champion, the only sport, well, outside the Olympics, but a world champion. But how exciting is it to coach, as the World Cup's getting closer, and even in a World Cup year?
Yeah, I can't wait. I've already tried to get on the lottery for the tickets. I want an England ticket. I want 4 England tickets from the first round to the final after we've won it. I'm ready for that.
Here he goes. I love it.
But I'm ready to go. I want to watch it, and I'm sure the girls are excited as well. But it's not just a World Cup for the full men's national team next year. Within our team, it's a U20 Women's World Cup coming up next year. Unfortunately, the good for that is that we'll probably get some players that will head to the World Cup and represent themselves, Arizona State and their country. The bad thing is it's right in the middle of our season next year. So
that's what I was just about to ask you. So that's
we will likely miss some players during the season. But when we recruit so heavily internationally, you have to expect that. And we've been missing some really important pieces to our team all season long, and the girls, somebody else steps up. We've been missing KB all season. Sierra steps up, and so somebody else will step up, and it'll be an opportunity for them. And in the meantime, we'll get to cheer on their teammate representing their country. So it'll be fun.
Oh, absolutely. And let me ask you this about Kira too, because obviously to get fit is one of those things, but when your team, obviously she's talented, so I'm not saying, when the player goes down, they can fit back in, but how is that a challenge for you guys as a coaching staff? Again, not giving away too many trade secrets because I don't want people copying the awesome success you're having, but how challenging is that, to kind of work somebody back in when, things are flowing with the team?
Well, good and bad. I mean, we've got where we've had so many injuries, and we've had injuries in one. Like we had Sierra was out with an injury at the very first game of the season, and so we didn't have a number 9. And then Addie Hawes came in, who's not really a number 9, but she did a great job in that position with Sierra and KB's absence. But then she's got a long-term injury now, and KB was already out, so we were missing a 9. What's kind of worked in our favor now is by having a smaller squad, though, is Sierra's now healthy and running around, but she's tired at times, and so and where KB's minutes are limited, it worked out well last night. I can only use KB for 10 or 15 and a half, so that gives Sierra a break, but it's putting in somebody who's really talented who's naturally that position. My big challenge will be, and it's a wonderful challenge to have, is when KB's cleared for 90 minutes and Sierra's cleared for 90 minutes, who plays? Now, they can both play and they can be used differently, absolutely. But when Tatum is playing so well, or Cam's playing so well, or Addie B's playing so well, these are wonderful headaches. That's just like asking Coach Dillingham, hey, when you got Jordan Tyson catching all these wonderful catches, and then you got some other wide receiver when he was out with the shoulder injury last year, and somebody else comes in and catches all the balls. Like, who are you going to play? Like, what a great problem to have.
Exactly.
And, so it's the same sort of thing. And maybe it's never a blessing for somebody to be hurt and to be out and missing, but it was an opportunity for somebody else that maybe we wouldn't have seen so much from if those minutes were not available. So long term, it could actually help our program without realizing it. And so there's me trying to see a positive out of what was a very difficult situation at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's what I said. I the third or fourth game in, I was like, man, it's tough not having a true number 9. I go, and a lot that others can't handle it. I go, believe me. And I go, for those that don't understand it, I tell them this, Coach, I go, just go watch Ted Lasso. He'll educate you, right?
Yeah.
But hey, Coach, man, look, thanks so much, obviously, for coming on. I love your conversations with you. And I do got to say, because last year when we were talking, you said the team would look different. I forgot. I didn't get the invitation to carry your luggage when you were going overseas to recruit. I can be a help. I can carry your luggage. You
would have a lot of air miles by now, because I know I do. I've been all over the United States, Canada, Mexico, South Africa, Europe. I've been everywhere, and with the support of Ross, Rodrigo, and Holly, we've managed to assemble not only a decently talented team, but a team that is just an absolute joy to be around every day. And I want to make one more point, and I say it after games to the media every single game. When you've got a group of young women who are so delighted for the girls that are on the pitch, even though even though they're sad, and they should be, that they're not on the pitch playing, you've got an incredible culture, and I can't praise them enough for how they handled themselves. One young lady called me aside. She played very minimal minutes last night. She pulled me aside after the game just to say thank you and to say I said, she goes, you've hit the jackpot with how to handle me. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, you just told me to go out there and have fun. I just, there was no stress related to it. And I said, well, some people need to kick up the backside. You need to be brought down because I know you're going to work hard. You need to be brought down just to chill out sometimes. And so that's what I wanted you to do. And you did. And she was really appreciative. So again, it's just a wonderful group of girls. Now we've not achieved anything this season. We've had some wonderful results, but we have not achieved anything this season. And so I'm looking forward to Monday, bringing them back down to earth very quickly and focusing on the next one.
Yeah, and like you said, I forgot to say this about Ella too, because it is always a treat watching her play. Like you said, she's all over the place. When a midfielder can bring organized chaos, and I know it's contradictory and people say it, but I'm like, if you played the game and you understand, if you can bring organized chaos, I said, and she doesn't step on her teammates' toes, like the spacing's there. I go, yeah, she should put a cape on because you're right. I played center mid, coach, and I enjoyed running, but I look at her and I'm like, all right, maybe, I'm just saying you can get there, but
everywhere.
Everywhere.
She is an abs. I've got a certain rapport. I have a great rapport with all of them, I feel, but there's some within the team, the likes of Ketz, the likes of May, that I might make fun of just that little bit more, and because I know they can take it. And I love the fact that they give me that sort of grief back every single day, make fun of me. If you saw the dance party in the locker room last night, but what was to the music, I use the term music very loosely, but to the music that they're listening to in the locker room, which is highly inappropriate, absolutely awful, but they are having the blast and I am dancing with them. And then I walk out the locker room like, what just happened? I'm like, but I didn't care. You got to be vulnerable around the girls, and they see that sort of vulnerability and care for them. They'll give you the world back, and they really do every day.
Yeah, like I said, it's obviously my favorite sport growing up because, like I told you, having an Italian family from the time I could waddle, I was on a pitch. But just when you see it, like I said, come together and your coaching style, just the things you'll say. And hey, I'm just happy you're not getting any ridiculous that aren't even yellow cards or anything. And yeah, you have no hair. I know.
No, I'm working. I'm just touching wood. We lead the conference in fair play, so we have not actually picked up a single yellow card. Not that that's a great thing or anything, but we haven't been booked, and nor myself. And I've been working on myself. We haven't picked up a card all season long, and so for us to win games and to do it in a way, not that you can still be classy while picking up yellow cards, but for us to do it in a way where we're leading the fair play league table as well. I think again is just wonderful from a character standpoint.
Yeah, because last year I had to get sound from some others, coach, last week, because I always, like I said to you, I'm like, yeah, there's no reason for you to get carded. I mean, homer or not, but I even talked to other people. I'm like, okay, and they would say, yeah, that's ridiculous. I go, see, exactly, thank you. But hey, look, obviously, congrats on getting the first Big 12 win last night. Congrats, like you said, on the 250, which is just phenomenal, great accomplishment. And I will see you obviously next week as Oklahoma State tries to come in town and see if they get a little bit more of the pitchfork dealt to them.
That's right. We'll be ready.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that is Graham Winkworth. He is the best. We're going to step aside, wrap up with football prediction on the other side.
Audio Jungle.
What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Back here on Pitchfork Lunch, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo001X, ours formerly known as Twitter. Check out the show live there every day, Monday to Friday, 12 to 1, along with the IG, Michael.Caratino.5. Watch live, subscribe to YouTube, because if you just missed the phenomenal con review with Coach Winkworth, again, you missed out. Again. But I got you covered. That's why you can go to YouTube, and I got nothing but love for you. But, yeah, forks up to Coach Winkworth. Awesome having him on. Again, can't wait to get some of the players on now that he talked about and mentioned. Again, you want to talk about international flavor. There's obviously England. England's represented. Canada's represented. South Africa's represented. Japan is represented. Germany, obviously, with Pauline Nellis in goal. Or Canada. Amsterdam. Yes, the Netherlands. Norway. So, yeah, it's, in California mixed in there a little. Some California players from California. Texas, Arizona as well, obviously, like Coach mentioned. So, yeah, but it is just the international spice, the flavor. And they are, before I get to football, but we'll wrap it on that. But 8-0-1, they are one of three teams in the Big 12 that have not lost a game in non-conference, and obviously the first conference game. Three teams. That would be the Devils, forks up. Kansas and Houston. Kansas is 7-0-2. Houston is 6-0-2. And then you have quite a few teams with just one loss. 4 teams with one loss. But anyway, again, saying later. But the Devils 8-0-1, 6-0 at home now, 2-0-1 on the road, and they've won 7 in a row. Yeah, but again, it is one game at a time. Oklahoma State, their next opponent, 0-1. They're 4-4-1 overall, but again, these are the teams you can't overlook. And again, not that the Devils will, but yeah, it's awesome. It is. I love it. Love having Coach Winkworth on. Love the heights he's taken Sun Devil soccer too, and what they've been able to do. And yeah, we will get these players on, and we will have some more conversations, my friends, con reviews, because again, these girls, absolutely phenomenal, and can't wait to get out there and again talk with them more. As we go forward. So hopefully some next week as well too. But football, guys, Baylor, yes, the Devils are playing the Bears on the road in Waco, as most people flying over today, this evening. I'm sure maybe some will fly over in the morning, but a lot of Sun Devil Club, I saw Graham Winkworth had posted that Sun Devil Club members, a sold-out flight headed over to Waco for the game. But yes, it's going to be a huge matchup. And look, I tell you this, Sawyer Robertson, the quarterback for Baylor, tops in yards through non-conference, 1,070 yards. So they're going to have their hands full with this. Bryson Washington, the running back, just a slight lead over Sun Devil Relique Brown in the conference in rushing. He's rushed for 304 yards for 3 games. Relique Brown, 292 in 3 games. So almost 100 yards a game. And Bryson Washington just over 100 yards a game. But who's leading the conference in receiving yards? Yeah, that'd be Mr. 1, Jordan Tyson, 314. And for Baylor, Josh Cameron, not too bad, 244. Going into this, but Jordan Tyson, yeah, Jordan Tyson, yeah, just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Love catching up with him, love talking to him, but just, man, everything he's done, and I saw it when we're getting ready for fall camp, man. Working with Coach Heinz Ward, man, absolutely awesome. So, defensively, Keaton Thomas for Baylor, second in the conference, but he leads his team with 30 tackles in the top 5. And then Well, sacks-wise, man, John Henry Daly from Utah, he's got 5 through 3 games. And then Clayton Smith, Mr. the snake hunter, the outdoorsman of the team. He is tied for third with 3 sacks through a sack a game. Hey, we'll take it. Defensively, we'll definitely take it. And then interceptions, tied for fourth is Anthony Cooper, who has the sole interception. The old man of the group, to Uncle Anthony, as they call him. And again, just so stoked for him. Again, battled so much through injuries, plural, guys. As you know, I talked about this Anthony Cooper, but man, I got that first interception diving play. So, but yeah, I mean, quarterback wise, like I said, it's going to be, Sawyer Robertson, like I said, he's 84, 135 for 1,070 yards. He's thrown. Sorry about that. Yes, so he is Sawyer Robertson, 10 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. He has been sacked 6 times, though. And then Sam Levitt is 12th in the conference right now. He's completed 50 of 86 passes, 58.1%, 527 yards passing, but he has thrown 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He has been sacked 7 times. But you look at that, and again, I'm not people say, preseason Heisman, this and that, well, not Sun Devil people, because we see what Sam Levitt can do. Not Sun Devil people, but others, especially from that place down south. Oh, they'll be like, oh, well, look at what he's did against his numbers, this and that, and how he's playing, what he did against Texas State. Like, again, it's just solid. And here's the thing. But yeah, here's the thing. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, what Sam Levitt has done is absolutely awesome. And yeah, what he's done has been absolutely awesome. And, first game against NAU, again, you get cobwebs off, you get the game off. But I will say this, when we look at, again, 527 yards, 50, those numbers will come up. I don't see this young man throwing too many more interceptions. I'll tell you that much. he does have 3. Like I said, Robertson's got 2. But yeah, it's like I said, that's where Levitt is at. But he has been on hey, you guys know this. He's been on one hell of a page with Jordan Tyson, right? Like I said, real quick, gonna finish this up. But you look at what, like I said, receiving wise, what Jordan Tyson has done. 314 yards through 3 games, so that's over 100 yards a game, 100 and what, almost 105 a game. But he's got 24 catches for 314 yards, averaging 13.1 per reception. 36 is his long, and he's got 4 touchdowns, which is tied for the lead as Kobe Prentice of Baylor, who's got 10 catches, only 10 catches for 117 yards, but 4 of his 10 catches are for touchdowns. Pretty good. So you might want to pay attention to Cody Prentice as they get closer to the end zone. But yeah, look at it. Kobe Prentice 4, Jordan Tyson 4. Yeah. So I mean, it's. So, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely awesome. And then rushing-wise, like I said, Raleek Brown, number 2 in the Big 12, 292 yards rushing for Raleek. 35 carries, 290 yards, averaging 8.3 per carry, as long as the 75-yard touchdown run, and he's got 2 touchdowns. But Bryson Washington for Baylor, who's ahead of him, 66 carries for 304. So think about that. He's got 21 more carries and only 12 more yards. 66 for 304, averaging 4.6 again, which is, I'm not ripping on Bryce Hall. I'm just saying, think of what Raleek Brown's doing is insane. This pace is insane. And then, averaging 4.6, but he does have 4 rushing touchdowns. Kanye Udo, by the way, 32 carries, 138 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Love seeing that. Kyson Brown missed the game, but still 9 carries, 84 yards. 9.3 a carry, you take it. Is Sam Levitt, by the way, 27 carries, 157 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. So, again, getting it done multiple ways, in control of the offense. It's just, So, I mean, if everything breaks down. But, when we look at sacks, like I said, Clayton Smith, 3 sacks, tied for 3rd. And, I mean, he's got 12 total tackles, 3 sacks for lost 22 yards. But I don't know what to do. But so and then when we look at team stats, like I said, Baylor number 2 in offense, 517 yards a game. The Devils are real quick. The Devils are 11. They have 408 yards a game. I mean, again, and with a tough start against Mississippi State, I mean, you figure even if they got off to just an average start, they'd probably be up. Where just maybe ahead of that team down south, right below, or above Cincinnati, right below BYU, possibly. But Texas Tech, 602 yards a game. 3 games, 1,800 yards, 602.7 yards a game. They have scored the most points too, 174. As Texas Tech, which the Devils will see them later. So yeah, but Baylor number 2 in yards, 517.3 game defense. Gonna have their hands full. I'll tell you that, because defensively, points allowed. Well, BYU's number 1 at 1.5 a game, Utah at 8.3. But again, non-conference. We'll see what happens. Yards allowed a game. BYU's only allowed 106 yards. Neither ASU or Baylor's in the top 5. But sacks a game, ASU 11, second in the conference with 11 sacks, 1 behind West Virginia in the Big 12. And then you look at sack-wise, Baylor is – Baylor's 12th, and they have 5 sacks. They're tied for 12th, actually. But yeah, ASU 11 sacks. ASU, West Virginia, ASU, and Kansas only 3 over double digits. It's 12, 11, and 10. So West Virginia 12, ASU 11, Kansas 10. But yeah, so that is absolutely awesome. So 11 sacks, and they're getting to the quarterback, and we've talked about it, guys. They can get to the quarterback, and they're going to have to do that. ASU rushing-wise, though, 232 yards a game, 3rd in conference. So that's an advantage for them as they're ahead of Baylor in that. And then, like I said, sack-wise, number 2. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because Baylor, like I said, they can light it up. As can Sawyer Robertson. He's a big quarterback. Coach talked about it. But, look, I look at these games, and I look at this. It's ASU, again, the start they got off to against Texas State. No joke. After Mississippi State, that's what I see in practice week. Although there will be no Xavier Alford again. It looks like, I'm bringing this to you, it's been reported, but it looks like Xavier Alford will be out, unfortunately, as he is still banged up. Kyson Brown looks like he's going to go. So Kyson Brown, Raleek Brown, Kanye Udo, Sam Levitt, like, again, you can see, like, running the ball. I might have to stay patient with it, but they can do it. Yeah, Xavier Alford, unfortunately, still banged up. Again, the guy, but Adrian Boogie Wilson looks to be in the start there. So I mean, you look at SMU or Baylor's out of conference schedule. I said SMU because for them week 2. They lost to Auburn 38-24, and they beat SMU 48-45 in double overtime, and then beat Samford last week 42-7. But I mean, look, you talk about Auburn and even SMU 17 at the time. I mean, that's 2 tough games out the bat. So hats off to Baylor on that. Scheduling, I have a feeling too with we'll talk about this next week, but scheduling. If I don't mention it, somebody in the comments hit me up, because I think some possible games that were going to happen might not happen now because of conferences switching things. And some of them, even though they act like they can't get anybody to, they don't want to play 2 tough games. But hats off to Baylor, they did. So, and I mean, ASU did too. You talk about Mississippi State and Texas State. Yeah. Sun Belt or not, Texas State is a good team, and it's very, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, they're averaging a ton of points. They haven't played. Again, they got 24 against Auburn. I might be able to see that, but I'm going to say the Devils win. Devils do win. And they are going to win this game. They're going to win this game 38-27. 38-27, Devils win. Big sacks in the game, too. Big sacks. That's what I'm going to tell you. Not that they happen at big times, but they happen at there's going to be quite a few of them. I'm going to say, and I'm going to think we're going to get we're going to get Keith Abney's first interception of the season. But yeah, 38-27, Devils win. That's all I'm going to say. 38-27, Devils win. All right, that's going to do it. Hey, big forks up to Coach Winkworth. Thank you, Coach Winkworth, for coming on. Again, women's soccer now 8-0-1, just absolutely crushing it. Haven't lost at home. Haven't been on the road a ton, but still haven't lost on the road either, obviously. They had a draw on the road, but that's that. So anyway, you guys have a most phenomenal rest of your Friday. Again, Sun Devil Classic, get on out there as the Devils will be taking on Pepperdine tonight at 6 p.m. at Desert Financial Arena. So get on out there. But again, and yes, also a reminder from reigning Big 12 champs women's volleyball. It is hashtag our state. You know that, especially for that team down south. We will own the state. And then go Devils. They win tomorrow 38-27 in football. And tonight, volleyball wins. Volleyball gets the victory tonight. And I think they get all three this weekend. It's going to be tough, but I think they get all three this weekend. So I know they get all three. I'm predicting they get all three this weekend. No both sides of the mouth or no offense for me. So, yes, it is hashtag our state. As you know, go Devils. Have a phenomenal rest of your weekend. I will see you Monday, same bat time, same bat channel, with a ton to go over, a whirlwind of action to go over. And we'll have it here on Pitchfork Lunch. And as always, you guys know it, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. 11 swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Of this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. Today. Just run the other way. Still going back. The drag walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.